Let's go, Soul Eater.
Maka is a Meister, and Soul is her weapon, literally. Every ghoul she drops and every soul he sucks down strengthens their bond.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama. Welcome to Paws On Animation and our Paws On Manga Spooktober podcast.
Today we're covering the Soul Eater Manga.
Yes, we've read the first 2 volumes in the new complete edition of the series. We're currently watching the anime, and man, is it wild.
Yep, and before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, include notification updates on future podcasts and one of Paws videos.
Yes, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Soul Eater, it's action, dark comedy, and dark fantasy. The manga itself is written by Atsushi Akubo, published by Square Enix by Yen Press in America. And it's actually 25 volumes if you're going by the original release. We're not sure how many of the complete edition series there are. Of course, there's got to be fewer since there's more content, because these books are really thick.
Right. And there are about over 10 volumes. I think it's close to 20 volumes altogether. 25 volumes. So when you line it up, and it's supposed to be like how one of the characters is obsessed with symmetry. So you have, when you have all the books lined up, it looks like one perfect straight line. It's actually pretty neat they did that. It includes bonus pages, the several chapters of the manga in each one, bonus pages, stuff about the author, colored pages. So you're getting a lot for your money's worth. And it's hardcover, so it's harder to get damaged.
That's Death the Kid, who's obsessed with it. And he drives Liz and Patty crazy with it.
Right.
Now, as we mentioned, there is an anime series as well, released by Studio Bones. It was on Netflix, and it was removed. So we are currently trying to find where to watch it. We haven't seen it on Crunchyroll anymore. We could be wrong. We know it's on Crunchyroll UK, which of course we don't have. If you guys know where we can watch it, let us know in the comments below.
Right.
So as we mentioned, this is a dark comedy and dark fantasy. It takes place in the fictional city of Death City in Nevada in the United States. Mm-hmm. And they go to school run by Shinigami, also known as Death, and it's a training facility for humans with the ability to transform into weapons. So in it, you've mentioned Black Star and his partner Tsubaki, mm-hmm. and you've got Death the Kid, as we mentioned, and Patty and
Liz, right?
Liz, right. And they're sisters. They're his assistants. And they're pretty cool. They're Liz and Patty Thompson. And you have, mainly that you see, especially in the beginning, you have Maka, Soul, and Blair. And Soul is exactly what he sounds like.
Right. And pretty much with the title of the show, they eat 100 souls and they become a full-on Reaper. So literally the title is what he does. And just like with the anime, they thought they were getting the soul of a witch, and it turned out it wasn't. It was just someone cosplaying, and when they failed to do that, it kind of bumps them all the way back to zero, and they got to start all over again. So that's where the series starts off, just like with the manga. So they both start off about the same, and we see it stays nearly 1-to-1, anime to manga. And they only took out some things that would be really deemed inappropriate because of the age of the characters. So that was acceptable this time.
Yes, it was a great idea. It was like Fire Force. Yeah, Fire Force. Yeah. Who's also written by the same author.
Right.
So just like Fire Force, they took a lot of that heavy fan service out. This was done the same as well.
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was like, if this had been in there, kind of wouldn't have taken the anime as being as much fun, or even kind of on a serious note when they get to some of the parts.
Right.
And when it starts to go haywire is when they want them to get the soul of this witch who's a little girl, mm-hmm. and adorable and cute, and it ends up going haywire when it's time for them to do that. And as Rascal mentioned, it's 1-to-1. So when you're reading the manga, you're pretty much, except for the heavy fan service, seeing the anime. The mangas themselves, and we're reading a hardcover, and
Right.
the covers are beautiful. They're gorgeous, as you can see in the pictures.
Right.
And
For just being black with the character on it, they made it look really stand out.
inside, yeah, and the cover kind of has colors from the anime. You got your black and your orange as well. You got your
Right.
orange as well. A little bit of color in it.
Right.
But yeah, they are gorgeous.
Right.
Absolutely.
And as I said, with the 2 volumes that it had covered, it gets a pretty good idea of who the characters are, and the Reapers and their weapons and everything, and how the world works. And it looks like right when number 2 is ending for volume 3, it looks like it's going to get into its main story arc, because it spends really the first 2 volumes getting to know these characters, and even having shorter chapters or stories introducing the characters and how they all end up meeting later on. And where it ends off is one story where they're supposed to find the Sword of Excalibur. Yes, that exists in here. And another one where they have some type of renegade monster that's supposed to be Frankenstein's monster. Yes, he exists in here as well. And Soul actually ends up getting injured trying to save
Maka.
Okay, thanks. And that ends up being more of a closer call, because even though they live in this type of world where this stuff they're doing is the norm, clearly they can get injured or pass on like normal people. So they kind of hint at least in the beginning, that they're sort of human with the power to shapeshift into weapons, sort of like a thing that the weapons can actually go to school in here, and it actually doesn't sound stupid.
Right. Now, the anime is 51 episodes, and I think it's interesting that, having read these 2 books, it looks like every 2 episodes are from a volume.
Right.
That's the way it looks as far as being one-to-one, because by reading these 2 volumes, we've actually seen the first 4 episodes is covered. So
Right.
It seems to be 2 for episodes for every 1 volume.
Right.
And something that I thought was really interesting that we read is that they interviewed the author, Okuba, and the author said the series was greatly inspired by ideas from Tim Burton's animations, as well as some concepts from J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. Yes, Harry Potter. And that he decided to make the main protagonist of the series, Maka, female, to differ from the traditional male hero found in most shonen manga, and paired her and the other main characters with those of the opposite sex to demonstrate an equal representation of gender. And he also said that the series title, Soul Eater, was intended to refer to Asura and his desire to eat innocent souls, and not to the character's soul himself. So that's pretty interesting.
Right, so you have to retract the earlier statement where the title came from.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought about it after
Me
you
too,
said it,
yeah, like, oh.
But that's what you think when you watch it. Until you actually get more background, you think that's what it comes from.
Mhm.
But this is actually an absolutely hilarious anime to watch. The manga is just as hilarious to read. Yes, it's dark, really dark in some places.
Right,
The
especially
humor,
with the tone, yeah.
it's funny. It's absolutely
It gets,
funny.
it's like dark comedy. It's master dark comedy where it's not too far over the edge where you kind of really want to stop and uncomfortable. And it's not too hilarious where you can't take it seriously.
Right. Also, there was a second manga release called Soul Eater Not, and it was only a one-shot that was published. And there's also a video game.
Oh, I can see people playing that.
There are multiple video games.
Oh,
They're
gosh.
great. I actually got 3. The first is called Monotone Princess, the second Soul Eater Plot of Medusa, and the third Soul Eater Battle Resonance. And I bet these are fun to play as well. The last thing I want to mention is, as you were speaking of Frankenstein's monster and things, when you see the animation for it, it's absolutely unique and it looks really good. And Ben 10, if you've watched our podcast, we mentioned how in one of the arcs in Omniverse, they actually copied the style of this anime.
Right.
And they even had a Frankenstein monster and the buildings.
Right.
And if you haven't seen Soul Eater or read it, you don't know it. But
Right.
it's really a direct Rip
guess a
off?
shout
That's
out?
the way to put it. It's
Is
not
it
a
rip off?
shout out. It's just really Soul Eater in a Western anime.
Right.
So if you've seen that, let us know in the comments below. You've seen Omniverse, and that season is the monster season.
Yeah, what's a galactic monsters?
Yeah,
Who
you know
came up with
exactly
that?
what we're talking about. So if you've read the Soul Eater manga, either partial or in full, let us know in the comments below. Do you love it? Do you think it's 1-to-1, which it really is? Let us know what you think. If you haven't, go to your local library, go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, other bookstores. It's available, but they're not cheap buys and cheap reads, so go to your library to get them.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos of your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. So thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, I'm Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.